Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. So the question I'd like you to consider today is, what do you think is not sadhana? What do you think is not spiritual practice? A few days ago, my house owner came to the door. The door was open. I was just sitting here quietly in a chair, doing nothing, my favorite thing to do. And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry to disturb your sadhana." This is a long-time Ramana devotee, a long-time practitioner. And I just looked at him and I said, "So this is not sadhana?" And he said, "Well, you were there so quietly that I thought it must be a disturbance." And I said, "So this conversation is not sadhana?" And he just looked at me. And I said, "Better to consider this conversation sadhana than not." So this points out to us this idea that many of us hold for a long, long time. And when we talk about our spiritual practice or sadhana, however you describe it, we are talking about something which we do in a specific way, maybe at a specific time, with a certain kind of surrounding, maybe out in the forest. But we have a very, very clearly defined idea, thought, that when I am doing this, I am doing sadhana. As we were setting up tonight, someone came in early and said that I hadn't seen for a few weeks. And I said, "Yeah, where have you been?" or something like that. And I had an idea, and I think I said, "Have you been here?" And he said, yes, I've been here, this place. And I've been with my family. And my practice has completely fallen apart, or something like that. This was the implication. My practice has completely fallen apart. And I asked him, when you were there with your family, were you not here? Were you in another dimension? For 2 weeks, you never felt like you were here? That was my implication. You were never here? this again points to this thought pattern among many, many practitioners, many, many spiritually oriented people, many, many people who are in some way feel like they are on a path. And that is that the path looks like this, and everything else is something else. The question that Bhagavan, Sri Ramana, used to ask when he encountered this kind of separation or division in a person's mind and heart was, are there two of you? One who is doing sadhana, one who is a spiritual person, one who has a practice, and another person who is living an ordinary life. And the two are not connected in any way. So he would say, are there two of you? No. This is what I was implying when I said to him, were you not there? Were you not here at every moment of being with your family or being in this other location? It's very, very easy for us in both of these examples. And as I think about this now, I also remember that a third person just yesterday or today sent me a message and said, I have fallen apart. My whole spiritual life has fallen apart, and I am in this very heavy state, and it is very difficult, and I don't know what to do, and what should I do? And I'm going to make an appointment with my therapist, and what should I do? And I asked her, are you here? And she said, yeah, but. And then she went on into her story again that her mind was telling her. And this is so heavy, and it's so difficult, and I don't know what to do. And I feel, and I said, are you here? This is someone who's been with me for quite some time now, more than a year. And she knows this is the only question I'm going to ask, but she was so distracted, distorted. Her mind was so distorted by what she was feeling and the urge to get away from it under any means possible, that she forgot to take the medicine to calm this mind. The medicine being remembering, I am here. I'm not this thought, not this emotion. It is here, no doubt about it. The experience is here. But it is a passing experience. So, as many times you've heard me say, what we can know about that is not the real. Whatever is passing is not the real. So, the question comes begging, what is real? The answer is, I am aware. I am here. This is actually the only thing you can ever know. Everything else is a figment of the imagination or random thinking in the mind. The belief that there is a problem, the belief that in a certain circumstance you cannot practice or you have forgotten to do sadhana. The belief that sadhana it is present only under certain circumstances, and under other circumstances it is not present. This is why I wanted to bring this question to you tonight. To ask yourself, what is not sadhana? What do you think is not sadhana? Because this thought that when I am in this frame of mind or in this situation, I am doing sadhana. When I'm in this frame of mind and it's chaotic and depressing and upsetting, and I'm out of my protected environment of my cushion and my meditation space and so on, I am not doing sadhana. You must understand what the game is that your mind is playing. If you don't understand this game, then you will be playing on both sides of the ping pong table. One moment hitting the ball over here and running around to hit it back over here and running around to hit it back over here and running around to hit it back over there. Always playing this game of sadhana, not sadhana, sadhana, not sadhana within your own mind. All this time, not noticing that which is aware, that the game is going on. Understand, this is not the denial of the game. This is the reminder to notice that the game is going on. The reason is, as soon as you notice, I am aware, the energy of the mind hitting the ping pong ball from both sides of the table starts to fall apart. Now, what looked like a separation starts to come together. In the moment of here now awareness, that which you are as the real, and the game, back and forth, back, forth, back and forth, as the unreal, the belief in separation begins to fall apart. So this is why I'm always encouraging you, no matter what is going on, understand that the opportunity is always there for you to acknowledge that sadhana is present as soon as you remember, even in the midst of this, I am here, I am aware. Awareness is here in this moment, not dependent even on I. That which is aware is here now. However you phrase it for yourself, however you frame it, as soon as you come to the recognition, that which is aware is here now, you have stripped away the illusion that this is sadhana and this is not. This is practice and this is not. This environment is good for practice, this is not. This environment supports sadhana, this does not. And the fruit of that kind of practice is that sadhana or practice goes on unabated. You are sitting here quietly one moment, enjoying the silence or the quiet as I was earlier, a few days ago. And there's no distinction, no separation when the person walks in and says, "Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you." There is no disturbance, correct? Sadhana is still going on. Quiet, sadhana is going on. Conversation, sadhana is going on. Satsang, sadhana is going on. Right? Walking, sadhana is going on. Sleeping, sadhana is going on. Eating, sadhana is going on. Struggling, sadhana is going on. The characteristic of sadhana is not a set of circumstances. It's the recognition that which is aware is here now, in the middle of all of these circumstances, surrounded by these circumstances, upholding all of these circumstances. Now the question can rise quite naturally. Whose sadhana is this anyway? Whose practice is this anyway? Am I practicing or am I being practiced? Am I doing sadhana or is sadhana doing me? All of this comes about from the very simple question, am I aware? By noticing that which is aware is here now. Right now, notice you are aware. as soon as you notice this, you can feel the concern, the fear, the thoughts, the disturbance, whatever was present a minute ago, it just falls away. Through the recognition, that which is aware is here now. I am aware. Lest you think this is a very mysterious thing, the Buddha explained this quite clearly. He said, awareness, it's possible for the mind to shift the focus of attention, awareness itself, to 17 different objects in one mind moment. Now we take his word for that because he was the Buddha. But he said, the mind has the capability to be able to distinguish 17 mind moments in one moment. Meaning, if you just think about your surroundings right now, don't think about it, just notice. You are aware of the awareness itself. You are aware of the body. You maybe are aware of the sound of my voice. You are aware of the temperature in the room, the quality of the light in the room. You are aware of sounds that are outside. All of these things are there. You can take these things on without even thinking about them. The mind has the capacity to understand everything which is going on in the environment around you and in the internal environment, all within the space of that, just like that. The Buddha said, the limitation of the mind is not how many objects it can see or it can perceive sequentially in one mind moment. The limitation of the mind is it can only perceive one object at a time. So this tells us that what he was referring to is within 17 mind moments, within one mind moment, there is the possibility of perceiving 17 objects is there, but not all at the same time. Each object seen for a fraction of a second must be followed by the next object if all 17 are going to be seen. This is why concentration practices have become so important in meditative contemplation, is because we narrow down the focus, slow down that ability of the mind to naturally look at all of these objects in rapid sequence and get the mind to adhere to one object for a period of time. So mindfulness of breathing, mantra, japa, all of these various kinds of meditative aids bring us to the point of one-pointed concentration so that we can see that the mind has the capacity to see all of these objects all at once, though we may not want to go so far as to see all 17. We just get an intuition that this is possible, that we can see many objects in rapid succession, but we can only see them one at a time. The mind does not have the capacity to see multiple perceptions all at once. It only can perceive one thing at a time. So when we say to the mind, I am here now, or awareness is here now, or I am aware, we narrow that focus rapidly to right here, right now. And in the doing of that, the possibility that the past will fall away, the future will fall away, and this present moment as I conceive it, because remember, this is all not real. This is a conception of the mind, whatever you are seeing around you. This present moment conception also begins to fall apart. And in that experience, one recognizes that that which is aware is here now and is not dependent upon this personal me. Awareness is transcendent to all the experiences, transcendent to the perception of me, transcendent to all of the problems associated with this me. This is the fruit of, and this fruit becomes ripe very quickly as soon as you begin to understand that sadhana is the recognition that which is aware is here now in its purest form. All the other forms of sadhana are valid. They calm the mind, they bring peace to the mind, they show us the possibility of heightened states of awareness. But ultimately, we have to come to understand that all forms of practice, all forms of regulated, let's say, sadhana, are all dependent upon this primal recognition, primary recognition, that which is aware is here now. Bring yourself back to that. Use I am aware. That which is aware is here now. Awareness is here under all circumstances, in all situations. Please don't make your practice and your sadhana dependent upon you being in a certain place at a certain time with certain set of circumstances around you. Life is here to awaken you. But it's not enough for me to say that to you. You have to see it yourself. And you see it yourself by beginning to open to the possibility that whatever you are seeing is your sadhana. Whatever is here is your sadhana. Whatever the circumstances are, that is your sadhana. Then during the times when you have the ability to go sit quietly somewhere, to spend time in nature, to be alone for a week or two in a meditative state, contemplative state, if you're drawn to that, you will understand and see that there's a continuity that happens as you move into a silent state and come out of a silent state. The continuity is awareness itself. It's not something you create, it's something which is already here. Having recognized this, you end this sense of separation and this sense of duality that the mind is always structuring in order to keep itself as the primary. To keep control in some way. So again, I remind you, ask yourself periodically, what do I think is not sadhana? I guarantee you that whatever answer you come up with, that will be your sadhana at that moment. Deal with that answer. Whatever you think is not the supreme, whatever you think is not the divine, whatever you think is less than the self, this is hindering you. Identify it and drop it. Put it down. You don't need it anymore. The self which you are is already shining. The awareness which you are is already your foundation. Bhagavan said, closer than your breath. Closer than your breath. Closer than your heartbeat. You are that. Knowing this, you lose your fear. You lose the sense of separation. You come to know yourself as unborn, undying, eternal presence. That which is aware, here, now.